Ladies and gentlemen, we have another one. I mean, I can't even close my eyes for 5 minutes. If you saw my video yesterday, we had Cobb County Prosecutor Yeager. I know, Yeager, Yurdy, we get those all mixed up. It's just like a never-ending, it's never-ending Christmas for the defense. Another witness comes forward. I'm going to share with you all the live breaking news just happened today on my son's birthday. Wish my son a happy birthday in the comments. I would really appreciate that. March 5th, 2024. It is just absolutely insane. I'm going to share with you this new notice that was filed today with Fulton County that is just, a bombshell, another bombshell that can only spell disaster for an already shrouded in darkness DA office in Fulton County with Fani Willis, Terrence Bradley, and Nathan Wade. And by the way, stick around to the end, because I know a lot of you guys have been leaving comments and you would say, how come all these witnesses are coming out now? I have a really good response to that. And also, I've got some Pitbull news. Pitbull, you know who the Pitbull is. Steve Sadow, who I think is the most exemplary attorney in this entire case, one of Trump's attorneys. I've got some news about Steve Sadow. Stick around to the end. But first, let's get to the breaking news. Check this out. Okay, this was filed today by Kathleen Latham's counsel, the Cromwell attorney Cromwell. So if you don't remember who Kathy Latham is, Kathy Latham was the former Coffee County GOP chair. She's one of the defendants. Okay, so she's one of the defendants in this case, and she was basically tried for election interference alongside. So she was also a member of the Georgia Republican Party Executive Committee. She was indicted along with former President Trump for election interference in Georgia. She's facing 11 charges. So this was filed today, okay? State of Georgia versus Kathleen Latham. Defendant Kathy Latham files this notice of proposed testimony and respectfully submits to the court and the parties that in the event that the evidence were reopened regarding various motions to dismiss or disqualify District Attorney Fani Willis and Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade from the prosecution of this action, that Mrs. Latham would offer the testimony of Attorney Manny Arora, former adjunct professor at Georgia State School of Law and board certified in criminal law. So I did some research on Manny Arora and check this out. Okay, so this is Manny Arora. He's verified on LinkedIn. You can see that he's from Atlanta, Georgia. He's a partner at Aurora Law LLC. He's totally credible. He's definitely an accomplished attorney. He's part of the American Board of Criminal Lawyers, partner at Aurora, adjunct professor of law. You can see right there, he was adjunct professor of law for 3 years, ending, it says till present, but probably he hasn't updated that. And he went to Georgia State University, so he's a total credible individual. That is who Manny Arora is. Now check this out. On Thursday, February 29th, that second paragraph, Mr. Arora spoke via telephone with undersigned counsel for Ms. Latham. Following is a summary of the proposed testimony, which was provided by Mr. Arora to counsel, that's Cromwell, who is the attorney for Mrs. Latham, counsel for Ms. Latham. So check this out. OMG, y'all. Between September through October 2023, Mr. Arora had several conversations with attorney Terrence Bradley regarding the relationship between District Attorney Willis and Nathan Wade. In the course of Mr. Bradley and Mr. Arora's discussions, Mr. Bradley told Arora the following. Check this out. Mr. Wade had definitely begun a romantic relationship with Mrs. Willis during the time that Mrs. Willis was running for district attorney in 2019 through 2020. So how many people have come out? How many people have said that refuting What Fani Willis and Nathan Wade said under oath. Remember, keep this in mind, under oath. This is perjury. This is a felony offense. Under oath, Nathan Wade and Fani Willis said their relationship started in 2022. The text exchange between Miss Merchant and Terrace Bradley refutes that. Miss Yeager refutes that. Miss Yurty? There's a lot of Yurty Yeagers. I know. It's just like a yogurt fest over here. I don't know what to call it. It gets confusing. I understand. Refuted that. And now you've got Mr. Aurora, who is an accomplished, board-certified attorney, adjunct instructor of criminal law, who is saying that they definitely had a relationship which absolutely rebuts and refutes their testimony under oath. And you can see, I'm going to get to the highlighted section in just a second. After the election, during Mrs. Willis's transition, she had Mr. Wade supervise the transition, including hiring and firing candidates after interviews. And here's the big one. Mr. Bradley stated that he had personal knowledge of the relationship between Mr. Wade and District Attorney Willis, including details regarding the use of Mrs. Robin Yurty's apartment, such as Mr. Wade's having a garage opener to the property. Holy mackerel. So, remember they had the phone data. All those hot spots in between that area the cell tower pinged. It was late at night between 6 p.m. and 3 in the morning, 35 times, 50 times, 20,000 voicemails, 20,000 text messages, 10,000 this and that. And under oath, Fani Willis and Nathan Wade claim that is irrelevant. None of that stuff is relevant. I'm telling you the truth. Our relationship, we were working. We were just working, right? And then you had Dr. I don't recall Terrence Bradley saying, I'm only speculating. I don't know anything. I was only speculating to Miss Merchant, even though he emphatically said, absolutely. He emphatically said it began way before he was appointed and hired as prosecuting attorney, which again is a conflict of interest, which means that if Nathan Wade took Fani Willis on all these lavish trips, she was benefiting because she gave an unqualified attorney a very, very robust salary for a position that she benefited from financially. I mean, the corruption is like, you can't find this kind of, you couldn't find this kind of corruption in an organized crime in the 70s or in the 30s. I mean, Al Capone's got nothing on Fani Willis. Therefore, in the event that the court reopens the hearing to receive additional evidence as requested by the state and defendant, former President Trump, Mrs. Latham requests that the defense be permitted to subpoena Mr. Aurora and present Mr. Aurora's testimony relating to the matters set forth herein. Respectfully submitted, Cromwell Law, LLC, William G. Cromwell, counsel for Kathleen Latham. On this day, March 4th, 2024. So they filed it yesterday, but it just broke today. So another one. The Judge McAfee, said he has to weigh all the evidence. These are all official court filings by attorneys. Yesterday, it was Connie Yeager, who was another special prosecutor subpoenaed by Georgia State Senate. Today, we have Kathy Latham, her counsel, Cromwell, submitting this by a very credible witness, an attorney who's verified, who's an adjunct instructor, who's a professor, who has the credentials, has the degrees, has the practice and experience. It's almost impossible to deny that Judge McAfee, not only will he have to disqualify, he'll have to, because again, the burden is not necessarily to prove impropriety. The burden is to prove an appearance of impropriety, because, as the Pitbull Sadow said, prosecutors, district attorneys are held to a higher standard. They must convey a disinterested, equivocal, objective, and neutral posture. when it comes to prosecuting, especially a huge case like going after a former president of the United States of America for a very serious charge of interfering with an election. Now, here's the important stuff. Okay, so a lot of people have been getting in your comments, how come all these people are coming? Where were they 2 weeks ago? Where were they a week ago? I totally agree with you. I think the reason why all of these witnesses are coming out now is because these were almost used like a secret weapon by the attorneys, but also the witnesses were hedging their bets. Essentially, they were saying, if it looks like Fani's going to win, there's no point in me coming out. I mean, it's like she's going to win. I don't want to ruin my credibility. I don't want to, dismiss my chances. Why get into the swamp and get dirty when there's no need to? But now that they see the tide is definitely turning, the text message exchange with Terrence Bradley, the fact that Fani probably ran her office, it's probably the most toxic. I know some of you have even commented you've worked in DA offices like this, probably one of the most toxic work cultures around. And she probably ran her office like an autocrat. I mean, you guys saw the way she stormed into court, her demeanor, her unprofessionalism, her ranting and raving and yelling at the attorneys, yelling at Ashley Merchant. I don't blame John Merchant for being upset about how his wife was treated. His wife was treated awful, not just by Fani Willis, but by everybody involved. Abadi treated her awful. Can you imagine what she's like when there's no cameras around? Holy macadamia nut. So I think these witnesses were hedging their bets. Now that they perhaps see either one of two things. Either one, they see that it's literally lights out for Fani and it's not going to hurt them. It's just going to probably give them more ethos, more credibility to come out and tell the truth and really put the final nail in the coffin. Or B, maybe perhaps they see that since Judge McAfee might be, that's still questionable, he's compromised as a judge who donated and supported Fani in the past, albeit it wasn't a large sum. They might be saying, this is our chance to really come forth and tell the truth because we don't want Fani to get away with this. And she's created such a toxic work environment, such animus against her from her employees and coworkers that they're like, screw her. We're going to come out against her because she's awful and she needs to go down, which I applaud these people. So that's kind of my reasoning. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I told you, if you waited this long, I have some amazing Pitbull Sadow news. I am in talks with the Pitbull. Me, yours truly, Nez. We have messaged back and forth. We've connected on LinkedIn. We've talked to each other. He's not giving interviews at this time, obviously for legal reasons. The case is still pending. There's still so much that needs to be unpacked, so much that needs to be finalized. But guys, if you've never wanted to subscribe before, if you've never wanted to subscribe to our email newsletter before, now is the time, because I promise you we are going to have the Pitbull, the most ferocious attorney in the land, Mr. Steve Sadow, Trump's attorney. We're going to have him on the podcast. We're going to have him on the show. And you are going to have an opportunity to ask him questions. It's not going to be anytime soon. I just want to be completely honest and transparent, but we're going to get him. So this is if there's ever been a reason to subscribe, this is your reason to subscribe, because it's going to happen. As always, if you've made it this far, make sure you subscribe to our free email newsletter because it's absolutely free. There's a really good chance YouTube's probably going to delete this channel. I'm bringing up things, talking about things that they definitely are opposed to with their, let's just say, their leanings and stances politically, geopolitically, and more, etc. And so it really behooves you to subscribe to our free email newsletter so you're always in the know. Top updates, top stories, breaking news, everything right into your inbox. It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. So it's in the pinned comment, in the show notes, in the description. Make sure you subscribe to that. As always, I love our comment section. I love the discussion, the debate, the robust collaboration. I try with my whole soul best to respond to all the comments. Sometimes it's just insane. It's impossible. I love you guys. I love that you've commented. I want to hear from every one of you. If you're a channel member, you get first priority. If you're a super chat giver, supporter, super sticker, you get first priority. It goes channel membership, then super chats. I highly recommend you become a channel member because you're going to get not only exclusive access to me, but you're going to get exclusive access to content, live streams, and more in the future. You can become a channel member anytime, and I definitely appreciate the support. I love you guys. Make sure you check out these videos right here. This one I posted yesterday. This one is amazing too. You got to check this out to get yourself more in the know. And as always, may God bless you, your family. May God bless these United States of America, and I'll see you soon.